Man, Jungle Green Nintendo 64, I remember finding you for the first time ever at a thrift store, and you were a steal of a deal. Now this would be unlock and key. What's up, guys? Johnny Chase here, and welcome back to the club, where today I want to talk about some of my greatest retro gaming finds over the past couple of years. So this question came up during a live stream with my friends over at Retro Rivals. Link in the description below. It was during a live stream, and I tend to, pop in, say a few, comments and answer a couple of questions with their community. And one of them they brought up was, what was your best score retro hunting? So this could be, thrift store, yard sale, or whatnot. And I wanted to talk to you guys a few of the stories that I have about retro collecting. Now, I don't actively retro hunt now. I'll pick up the odd title here and there. For the most part, I'm kind of happy with the collection I have. Now, a lot of you don't know that I used to have a pretty extensive Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis collection. But we kind of fell on hard times here in the household. And to keep us afloat, I sold all of them and haven't collected again since. And I'm kind of scared of doing it again because of how much the market value of retro games has skyrocketed since 2020. And I think we all know the reason why. I mean, I get that itch every now and then to, pick up an NES off of a lot of someone on Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji and just, build that collection up again. It may happen again someday, not anytime soon. If it does, obviously we'll have our phones and cameras out to record the adventure, and I will obviously put it here on the channel. But for now, I'm going to go over some of the greatest retro hunting finds I've ever had. I want to start off with just a fun little yard sale story, just to kind of give you guys how prices have dramatically increased over the last couple of decades. Actually, one of the great traditions we used to have with my family was we used to get up early on Saturday mornings and go around the blocks to various yard sales, and one of them I found, and you'll never ever get prices like this again. This is how much they've risen. I remember specifically getting 2 NES control decks, only 2 controllers, and just enough hookups for both of them, with a copy of Super Mario Bros. 2 inside one of the decks. I paid $0.25 for it. $0.25. I think I have one. See that? That's all I paid. I want to say this is when I was in high school, and I think we kept one upstairs and one downstairs. And man, downstairs was kind of the genesis of a nerd cave or a retro or gaming room or console room or game or whatever you want to call it. That was kind of the genesis of that. I had this old family owned wooden cased CRT television, which, man, you're hard pressed to try and find those anywhere in the wild nowadays. I had the Nintendo hooked up on there. I had a stack of games that I was slowly collecting. Those were the days. And like anything else, you grow out of them, you sell them, and then you find out what an idiot you were. You shouldn't have sold them, and you just end up buying them back. Right now, I'm going to put a photo right here as to probably the greatest find ever. So this was an ad that was put up, and for some reason, pro tip for everyone out there, pro tip with your Uncle Johnny, and bringing it back. If you ever want to get some of the best deals, look on your ads around Labor Day. For some reason, I get the best deals on Labor Day. It just happens. This was the mother she said that this was her brother's stuff and didn't know if any of it worked, but I mean, look at this here. We've got 2 NES control decks, 4 controllers, a zapper. We've got all 3 Mario games, and the Mario 3 that's there is some label variant I have never seen before. I didn't know that this red label one existed. Both Zeldas, Final Fantasy, Captain Planet, Fanzaxu, Bad Dudes, Wizards of Warriors 1 and 2, 1942, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, TMNT, Ninja Gaiden 2. We got Anticipation. No, that's not even. That's Clash of Demon Head. I almost misread that. We've got a faded label on the Dr. Mario, and as sad, that was the only game that did not work. The gold strippings on the board were just stripped beyond repair. We got Gauntlet, Ninja Gaiden 2. We've got a Bomberman down there. The label's in bad quality, but it's still there. We got Ninja Turtles, Batman, Yoshi, and Mega Man 2, 3, and 4. I paid $50 for all of that. Right there, like, I'm not gonna look it up right now just to waste time, but like, future me, editor, put up how much this would cost on price charting. Like, you do not get deals like that anymore. So one, I don't have to show you guys, but I'll put up a photo here because I got a funny story for this one. I actually had a physical copy of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2. There was this store in my general area that opened up, and the first thing they wanted to do was sell retro games. They ended up, and I overheard the owners saying that they bought an eBay lot, and they were just like going on price charting and finding the prices and admitting that they were jacking them up. And they're just like, man, I can't believe how many people pay for this stuff. And I don't know if he just like mislabeled Chip 'n Dale 2 thinking it was Chip 'n Dale 1. But like, if you're in the retro collecting scene, you know how much Chip 'n Dale 2 goes for. I ended up paying $25 for that. $25, and that was like a $200 game. Again, I since do not own that anymore. I did sell it to that, we can get through our hard time that we had not too long ago. But man, like, goes to show you that, like, sometimes, as Billy and Jay would say, you just catch people slipping. So if you notice at the beginning of the video, I have a Jungle Green Donkey Kong 64, Nintendo 64. Man, like, this was a steal of the deal. I got this at a thrift store with the hookups and a copy of Ocarina of Time for $20. Nowadays, that same thrift store, if it's just a regular ass Nintendo 64, not one of the special fantastic colors, that's behind a lock and key, that's behind a glass showcase, and it's like $80. Probably just for the console. If there's no hookups or anything, they'll still charge that. I remember seeing one with like no cover for the jumper pack, no jumper pack at all, a mismatched like plug and play children's controller, and the power supply. They want $80 for it. No, it can't talk you down. No, this can't be separated. Just unbelievable. And finally, maybe I should talk about the massive PS2 collection I have. So counting now, and I have to kind of count this up because the app I use to catalog all my stuff died and I lost everything, so I have to rescan everything now. I think I'm up to like 300 PlayStation 2 games. How did I amass that much? Well, I mean, back in the day, probably I would say like 5 or 6 years ago, one of the places I frequent, their PS2, GameCube, and Xbox section, didn't matter the title, they were all $2 a piece. So I would go there on the regular when I had spare money and just pick through and like, I don't have this, don't have this, don't have this. And now that, retro, like those systems have now become retro because the people who grew up with that as kids are now wanting to rebuy all that stuff. So people are starting to take advantage. I have several heavy hitters in my PS2 collection that I bought for pennies on the dollar that now go for way too much. Mad Maestro, Mr. Mosquito, the other two Xenosaga games that weren't part of the greatest hits, so Xenosaga 2 and 3, those go up pretty high. And probably one of my favorites that, again, I don't own because, hard times. I had I saw this game on GameCube. I didn't know anything about it. Thought it looked cool. It was first party Nintendo, so I picked it up. That game being Chibi Robo. I think at the time I paid $15 for that game. I just recently sold it for $200. If anyone is watching this thinking about retro collecting, maybe go for the stuff that's not considered retro yet, but is about to, like the Xbox 360 and the PS3, because there are some of those games that are starting to go up in price. So if you can get them on the cheap, and a lot of them are, I would actually highly suggest getting them now. So that's it for me in this video. I want to hear from you guys. What has been some of your greatest retro gaming finds? Leave it down in the comment below, or make a video. I challenge you to make a video. If you've got some stories you want to tell, leave it down in the comments below. But until then, I'm Johnny Chase and I still don't have an outro. But that is my outro. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.